Emily had always lived in the city, but when her mom got a new job in the quiet town of Ravenwood, they moved into a quaint house at the end of a cul-de-sac. It was a charming place, surrounded by trees and with a cozy front porch. Everything seemed perfect, except for one thing, the neighbor. From the moment they arrived, Emily noticed him. He lived in the decrepit house next door, with peeling paint and an overgrown yard. He was an elderly man, with a hunched back and piercing eyes that seemed to follow her every move. He rarely left his house, but whenever Emily glanced out her window, he was there, watching. One evening, Emily's mom had to work late, leaving her alone for the night. As darkness fell, the old house next door seemed even more sinister. Trying to shake off the unease, Emily decided to watch a movie. Halfway through she heard a strange noise coming from outside, a soft scraping sound. Heart pounding, she crept to the window and peeked through the curtains. The old man was in his yard, staring directly at her house. He was holding a rusty rake, dragging it slowly across the ground. Emily quickly closed the curtains, trying to calm herself. It's just a harmless old man, she thought. But deep down she didn't believe it. Later that night, she heard the noise again, closer this time. It was coming from the side of the house. Summoning her courage, she grabbed a flashlight and tiptoed to the back door. She turned on the light and stepped outside, the cold air biting at her skin. The backyard was empty, but the unease was growing. She decided to check the front yard. As she rounded the corner, her flashlight beam caught something, footprints in the dewy grass, leading from the neighbor's house to hers. Panic surged through her, and she ran back inside, locking the door behind her. That night, sleep was elusive. Every creak of the house made her jump, every shadow seemed to move. Just as she was drifting off, she heard a soft tapping on her window. She bolted upright, heart racing. There, outside her window, was the old man, his face pressed against the glass, eyes wide and unblinking. Emily screamed and ran to her mom's room, locking the door behind her. She dialed 911 with trembling fingers, and the police arrived within minutes. They searched the neighbor's house but found it empty. The old man had vanished, leaving behind only his eerie gaze imprinted in Emily's mind. The police discovered something even more disturbing in his house. Old photographs of Emily, taken from various angles, some even from inside her own house. It turned out he had been watching her long before she moved in, his obsession growing with each passing day. Emily and her mom moved out of Ravenwood the next morning, leaving the creepy neighbor and his sinister house behind. But Emily could never shake the feeling of being watched, the image of those cold, piercing eyes haunting her nightmares for years to come.